Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coldborough Park Farm. I'm starting really late today. I'm not gonna deny it. I kind of overslept quite a lot. Well, I didn't oversleep, I just didn't wake up until quite late. Went to bed late last night because I just wasn't tired. Woke up really late today. So I've literally just had breakfast and a cup of coffee, and I'm mostly ready to go. I just spotted a mistake I made. It won't be too big today. The mistake won't be too big today, but I'm gonna have to edit soil mod. Well, not edit soil mod, but edit my soil mod settings in the career XML. There we go. Because today we are going to be double cultivating the fields. Hooray! Because the chopped straw needs to be cultivated in now. Otherwise it just won't work properly. So you're gonna have to deal with that. It's not at all obvious that I'm not long out of bed. Why did that happen? Oh. I still have stubble cultivator active. So obviously there are still small bits of stubble that I'd missed. Fun little fact, by the way. I didn't realize this until recently, but every message I get in chat, every message that appears in chat during a YouTube stream, is counted by YouTube as a comment. So in the past month, I think there's something like 5,000 comments on the channel because of chat. And because I use the same stream, I don't change my stream key that often because I don't ever show it. It's counting one video as having over 5,000 comments. It's showing like the latest stream has like 5,000 comments every time, and it's kind of hilarious. But that is actually good because the comments count towards YouTube's engagement statistics, which are what decides where a video appears in searches and whatnot. So the more active chat is, the more my videos get pushed by YouTube. Or the more the streams do, which is kind of good, kind of bad. I prefer the videos themselves to get pushed by YouTube, but I'm not going to complain about reasonably high engagement statistics on the streams, because it does help the channel, so no complaints for me. I probably should plow this under, but I don't have a plow, and I do kind of have the money for a plow. I don't want to be going around with the little 4-furrow plow, and I haven't looked for a 5 or 6 furrow yet. Does the game have like a 5 or 6 furrow actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 22,000. Requires 150 horsepower. Yeah, I'd like a 5 or 6 that doesn't require as much horsepower, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm also not going to be getting this Kverneland AB85. That's a bit too small for my liking. And I've just realised that I just had a thought. That's the kind of cultivator I need for the stubble cultivator to look realistic. Like Quality Disc Farmer 3000. So I'm going to actually get the disc cultivator as well. So we're going to have 2 cultivators on this farm. One of them specifically to use the stubble cultivator mod. just for the sake of realism. So yes, I am spending more than I need to on cultivators because I want the want the realism there. I'm kind of doing a reverse aggroing. He'll buy one really big thing, I'll buy two smaller things, so there's realism. And I've noticed that it's really, really dark today, so I'm gonna just turn on this light and hopefully it'll fix things a bit. Not really nuts. Bear with me a moment. I'm going to turn on my other light, which I don't need to take off my headphones for. That should help a small bit. Or, no, it did help a small bit. Especially if I'm like over here. That helps. There we go. And yeah, all we're going to be doing is cultivating today because there's so much cultivating to do. That's not even sarcasm, that's legit. I have to cultivate all the fields. All of them, even the huge ones with the 3-meter cultivators. So I'll probably be continuing on tomorrow. Monday, I don't know what's gonna happen Monday. Monday is gonna turn into a kind of an anything can happen day. Just because I don't want to constantly be doing streams where it's like, oh yeah, here's some stuff I did or bought in the video tonight. Because that kind of, in my mind, discourages you guys from watching the videos. I know that might not be true, but it's just the way that my mind works. So Monday is going to turn into a pretty much anything can happen day. So if you're in chat, and I can see there is one person watching the stream on YouTube, feel free to say hello. I'm not evil, I don't bite, I'm not crazy or anything much. I just I do appreciate when there is some sort of interaction. And I'm not angry if you're going to be a lurker. I do like lurkers, I am a lurker myself. In literally every other stream. This is the only stream where I am actually active in chat, usually. Because normally if I'm in a stream, I'm doing something else at the same time. I'm the kind of person who, like, I'll go into a stream and I'll be working on an edit or playing a different game or playing the same game or, you know, doing something else. I can't just watch a stream. Sometimes I do, depending on what it is. Sometimes I do just sit and watch a stream, but I don't normally use chat because that's... I like lurking. I really do. Because it's fun to just watch the chat go through its various phases of very happy-go-lucky and then very serious, and a lot of streamers have this thing. This cultivated texture I really like. Oh wow, that is a nice texture. That is a really nice texture. I done messed up. Nope. this lane, please. And go! So the reason I am using GPS is basically just so I don't miss small bits, if you're wondering. Also, in reality, you probably would use GPS for this kind of work. Hopefully, a stubble cultivator does talk to soil mod. I'd be surprised if it didn't, quite frankly, because it is just talking to chopped straw, which does talk to soil mod in turn. So, in theory, it's all going to go wonderful and lovely. Now, I will be honest, the next time we're cultivating or anything like that, for the next harvest cycle, yeah, after this upcoming harvest cycle, I will be ploughing. So I'll be running stubble cultivator, then ploughing it under, and then running a normal cultivator over the top. Just because I want to try and simulate compaction if I can, and get rid of any compaction that might be there. And the amount of work that I'm oh, apologies. The amount of work that I want to do... why is it so damn dark today? The amount of work that I want to do, simulating compaction would be a good idea. And ploughing it as a kind of a follow-up to that would be a good idea. So, it is going to be a very slow-paced stream today, I'm afraid. Because we can go straight into the next field from here. And I think that's the right lane, yes it is. So I'll just let GPS take over the steering. So actually the next field I will be using stubble cultivator because that was a barley field, I want to say. Wheat or barley, one of the two. So I'll have to grab the other cultivator for that. So yeah, nice and big amount of work to do today. I'm thinking that starting the stream so late has affected the amount of viewers I'm gonna get though, because people are so used to me being halfway through the stream by the time that almost finished the stream by the time I started the damn thing. Like by now I would be finishing up, but today I'm still only getting started. I am gonna try and get the full 2 hours done, and immediately after the stream I'll be putting the video live for today. It's not the video that I was teasing and promising because plans changed. So if you're watching and you're interested, that one person who's still here, props to you and my gratitude, because otherwise I would be streaming to literally but nobody. I'm hoping it's not just Nightbot that I'm seeing as being in the chat though, or being in the stream. The video that was going to go up was going to be DW12's at Norwich Life. I was kind of screwing about after the stream yesterday, after Project Hell, and I did a half-hour race. Different cars at a different track. Actually, the same cars at a different track. I'm not driving the DW12 in today's video, but it's the same car selection. And to be quite honest, the messing about race that I did was much more viewer friendly than the Nordschleifer race, because the Nordschleifer race was just, you know, me trying to close a gap or trying to open a gap. The race that I'm choosing to put up instead is, well, let's just say doing that exact thing is maybe not a good idea if you're wanting a very clean race. Do I need to refill my e-cig? I do need to refill my e-cig. I should have done that before the stream. Whoops. I do appreciate streams where we'll say that the streamer thinks they're being botted for whatever reason, like there's an unusually high number of people in the stream, and the mods or various people go through the chat room, because I've seen this happen literally like twice. People start going through the chat logs and chat lists and seeing do all these names look legit, and instead of like naming people or calling people out and saying, "Are you here?" it's like, no, they all look like proper names, they all look real. And that's a very lurker friendly thing to do, because I hate, absolutely hate when I get delurked in a stream for whatever reason. Even if I delurk myself, I hate getting called out by the streamer. Which is comical, because, you know, I am a streamer myself. You think I'd enjoy that? No, I really don't. It's something that I've always just disliked. I like having... I just like being the silent person in the corner. That is how I essentially live my life, as I'm just that quiet guy in the corner, silently brooding over things. And I do like corners as well, that's why I use that exact analogy. I quite literally am just that silent dude in the corner, brooding over things silently. Or doing something really odd sometimes. Or just looking at his phone because he's reading the news. I'm a dull person in reality. I am a very dull person. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like exciting things. I really enjoy go-karting. I just don't go that often. I mean, by that I mean ever. I've gone like twice. Ever. And I'd like to go a third time, but I don't know when. Also, I won't be getting a GoPro if I decide to go go-karting and bringing it with me. No, that's gonna be me time. That's gonna be me doing my own thing. Likely for like a birthday or something, because hey, I'm allowed to have me time on my birthday. But yeah, that if you haven't been go-karting ever, I would strongly recommend going, because it is some of the best fun you can have. Especially even if you don't know how to drive, because I don't know how to drive IRL. When I went go-karting, I'd driven literally like twice. Ever. And yet the go-karts kind of felt... Well, the first set of go-karts I was in, the first go-kart I drove, felt like almost an extension of myself. I was really comfortable in that kart. The second one, there was a bit of a disconnect for whatever reason, and I had issues. But the first one, I found myself like unconsciously drifting and correcting myself, correcting mistakes. Whereas the second one was like, I have no idea what this thing's gonna do. It seemed a bit more... Like, I did make mistakes in the second one. Good lord, did I make mistakes. The amount of times that I went wide around the corner was unbelievable. But I didn't, like, spin or crash in the second one, at least, so... I guess it was actually more in control of it, that I didn't have issues with the second one. I was slower, but more in control. And like the top speed I hit in the second one, I know. Because the first ones I went on was at a different place. The first go-kart I drove, I don't know what my top speed was. The second one was a little under 30 miles an hour. Or is either a little under or just over 50 kilometers an hour. Which, when you're essentially sliding along the ground, that's quite fast. Hey Faye, I'm good. I started the stream quite late because I was asleep until like 3:30. I woke up and I was like, oh damn it, it's 3:30. Do I want to stream? Yes, I'll just stream regardless. I'm just talking about go-karting. Have you ever been? Because that is so much fun. I've just been nattering on to myself about stuff. For the benefit of people who may or may not watch the VOD. I don't even know if people watch the VODs. Like, that's how troubling this streaming is. It's like, oh, I'm doing all these streams and I literally don't know if this is a one and done kind of thing for people. Like, if they miss the stream, do they watch the VOD? Because it's like 2 hours of VOD. You're watching Ian Robson while waiting. I haven't watched him in a while. I should probably like start watching his videos again. My god, the last like week, I've been intentionally filling up all of my time with doing things. I just didn't want to get bored at all. So I was just like, I'm gonna do this, and now I'm gonna do this, and now I'm gonna set up a Facebook page, and now I'm gonna go over here and do this thing. Like, who else decides at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to change all of the art on my channel? Well, not all the thumbnails, but all of the channel art. That took me 2 hours. I'm still not happy with it. I'm still not happy with the channel art. I mean, it'll do for now. It's a lot better than it was. But, I think improvements can still be made. Massive karting track up in Galway. Your kart league down Tip. That was probably at Rose Green. That's the only kart track that was in Tip. That was in the county of Tipperary for a long time. That got shut down as well, Rose Green's kart track, because... Okay, I can talk about Rose Green. That's not one of these things that I'm like, oh, I know all of this stuff, but I can't talk to you about it. No, Rose Green is Ireland's only purpose-built oval circuit. A lot of the ovals in Ireland are grass ovals or dirt ovals. Rose Green is an asphalt oval. It is I want to say it's a quarter-mile oval. Is it a quarter-mile? Yeah, it is a quarter-mile. And on the inside, there's a karting track. Now, the karting track wasn't exclusively used for karting. There was the periodic drifting events coming to Rose Green as well. I actually went to a Pro Drift event there one year. The final year that Pro Drift was going to Rose Green. I went to a Pro Drift event there, and that was so much fun. I'm not a fan of doing drifting myself, but oh my god, the skill of drivers in drifting is intense. It is just amazing. And James Dean, who is now in like one of the top drift series in the world. Actually won that day. That was just Pro Drift Ireland. He was... I want to say he was 16 or 17 at the time. Just to kind of show how long ago this was. And he just was amazingly good. Now, of course, it being drifting, there were people who maybe couldn't... It must have been Rose Green. Yeah, I don't think there's another place in Tip. I know there's no place in North Tip. I know there's a place in Cork. There's actually 2 places in Cork. But yeah, it has to have been Rose Green. But it being drifting, you know, you had these amazing drivers like James Dean who were legitimately good drifters. Like, it just had the natural car ability. The natural car ability. What? The natural kind of car control that only the top guys ever get. Just this gift of knowing what a car is going to do and being able to counter it before anybody even notices that something's about to happen. And then you had guys who, let's just say weren't very good. Because I distinctly remember there was one guy in... Actually, I'm going to backtrack because I was going to the hot rod racing that was in Rose Green as well. Hello, Fred. I was going to hot rod racing that was in Rose Green as well at the time. This was a period when I was very much into motor racing. And just enjoyed the noise. And obviously the motor racing. And for a few weeks, for about a month before the drift event, you had guys entering the stock rod races, which is basically you can use whatever car you like. There's very strict rules on what cars you can use and which cars you can't, but you know, you did very open rules. And for a few weeks to a month before Pro Drift came, there were guys who were just coming out on track in the races and just going around corners sideways to practice drifting the oval. It was comical because they couldn't drift. They just couldn't. It wasn't banger racing, Fred. It was I think it was called stock rod. Because it was a hot rod meeting, it wasn't a banger racing meeting. It was legitimate oval racing. But when Pro Drift came, then you had all the top guys, and you can tell just by looking at the cars which ones were the top guys, because the top guys had these really beautifully customized cars with flashing lights and whatever. And then you had these guys who were showing up in a mud gold BMW M3. It's just clearly not made for drifting. And the reason I remember the mud gold BMW M3 specifically, I think it was an M3. It might have been an M5 series. Might only have been a 3 series. But the reason I remember the mud gold BMW specifically is mud gold BMW dude was not a very good drifter at all. As in, he could get the car to go sideways the same way that I can get a tractor to go sideways in Farm Sim. He couldn't drift. And Mud Gold BMW man, who I'm just going to call Mud Gold from now on, Mud Gold, he ended up slamming passenger side first. Passenger side, like left front first, into one of the walls of the oval. Because he couldn't drift, he lost control, and speared straight on. And what's worse, he actually took out a car with him because they were trying to tandem drift. that didn't go well because Mud Gold was on the inside. So Mud Gold lost control and headed up towards the wall. Innocent man got collected by Mud Gold, and yeah, there was quite a large accident and everything was stopped for about 10 minutes. And yeah, it wasn't on Cadillac Racing that I was watching 90% of the time. I mean, there were incidents. I remember one where a car damn near flipped right in front of me, because he got like tied up with another car coming into turns 3 and 4, I guess they'd be by American standards. Well set up. I think it might not have even been an M series fight. I mean, I know that you can set a car up for drifting, but I think it was just like a street BMW or 3 series or 5 series, because he couldn't. As much as he tried, and you could hear him trying, because you could hear that 3 series. He couldn't get it to spin the tires. What I reckon happened was the idiot forgot to turn off traction control. He was revving the engine, and traction control was kicking in. Because it was those days where BMW had all these flashy things like traction control, and this guy forgot that it was a thing. So there was this lovely BMW that was destroyed in a wall because presumably the driver forgot traction control as a thing. And it was quite clearly just a street car that he was desperately trying to drift. But yeah, in terms of racing, I do prefer the non-contact kinds, because they just I don't get the point of crash racing. I'm sorry to anybody who loves bangers and banger racing, but I don't get the point of it. You know, what's the point of this racing series? Oh, you survive. You what? Well, we hit our cars into each other, and the last man standing wins. That's okay. That's not exactly good for any car ever, but I guess it could be a thing. And there's Stubble Cultivator actually working in its full glory, making chopped straw magically appear. Where is the detector point for this, actually? Just in front of the cultivator itself. Yes, that is Stubble Cultivator actually working properly. Going back to the hot rods, because it was national hot rod racing. It was the actual Irish national championships, which only had one circuit, because Rose Green was the only track that was a paved oval, and the National Hot Rod Association, which is yes, the NHRA, which is actually based in the UK. Well, the World Hot Rod Association, actually. It's not. It's just the Irish National Series. They kind of decreed that they have to be raced on paved ovals. Same as most motorsport, you gotta have a good build. You gotta have a car that is, I won't say designed for it, but definitely set up for it. You have to have a car that's set up for the track and the kind of motorsport you want to do. If you're going for we'll say non-contact road racing, like on Road America or Silverstone or Brands Hatch, you want a car that maybe has a small bit of oversteer. You want a car that's a small bit loose in the corner, just to get it turned in, and good choice of car. That's maybe not as important as the setup in terms of the absolute basics you will need. Like, you want a car that's slightly loose into the corner but controllably loose. You don't want something that's gonna just randomly snap. And you'll definitely want something that's got enough bang that you can turn it in and deal with mistakes. And definitely something that you can predict what it's gonna do. That you have that ability to predict what's gonna happen. It doesn't banger. Well, of course it doesn't banger racing, but I'm talking about like road racing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't count banger racing as racing. I mean, it's just a destruction derby under another name. They threw racing onto it because they wanted it to sound more legit than it is. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. I mean, Formula 1 is barely racing anymore, but it is still proper racing where there's... The aim is to not kill the other person. It's a bit of crack, yeah, but it's not racing. I'm not going to deny that banger mashing is fun. Yeah, banger mashing has got to be lots of fun, because you're destroying really bad cars. But it's not racing. I mean, last man standing is not a racing term. Well, that's just my opinion now. Yeah. You might disagree, but I've dropped my e-cig. Where are you? But last man standing is not a kind of racing. It's just, well, it actually kind of is. Can I explain this? Last man standing is kind of a theoretical race thing, where we'll say it's got 20 cars and it's a 20 lap race. At the end of every lap, the car in last position is eliminated. So lap 1 is kind of a freebie for everybody. So lap 2, at the end of lap 2, you lose a car. In theory, that leaves you with 2 cars on the last lap, 2 or 3 on the last lap. It can work either way, I guess. And the winner is the first one past the line. That is like last man standing racing, and that's the way that last man standing racing should be done. Is like, well, the fastest car wins over this period, but we did have a last man standing kind of format. Because on the last lap, casually raced have lasted a few meetings, but so the races... Yeah, most races aren't last car standings, but at the same time, the whole point is to crash into people. A Cosworth 190E Merc. Oh, I would have loved that Merc. That is actually one of my favourite Mercs, the 190E. Just because of the... If you've ever played it, the Gran Turismo 4 tests around the Nürburgring. That was fun. They were fun. They took me so many attempts. If you don't know, the license test in Gran Turismo 4, you literally had to do a lap of the Nürburgring without getting four tires off the track. Under a certain time and without hitting any of the walls. In a car that's barely controllable. Because those 190Es in Gran Turismo 4 were terrible. I mean, the design of the Nürburgring... So the Nordschleife in GTA 4 was just as bad, because it was a kind of a... This is what it kind of looks like. Affair. Worth a lot of money now. All Mercs are always worth a lot of money. But the older a Merc is, and kind of the it was written off by an insurance company, still drove it. But written off just means that it's worth more to repair than it is worth. It'll cost more to repair it than it's worth. I guarantee you, if that same car was there today, it would not have been written off. Unless it was, like, really bad. And personally, if I had, like, unlimited funds, if I had, like, won the lotto tonight or whatever, which, by the way, I have not entered the lotto, but if I ever won a lotto, or like a few €1,000,000, I would legitimately buy a classic car that's been written off and restore it to its former glory. So I'd buy something like what's a good example, a Jag E-Type or something. And maybe it's not in the best conditions, but I'd get it up to like new condition. Just because I love the E-Type, I love the 190E Mark. It looks horrible, but I love it. Mustang, the like 67, 69 Mustangs, they are beautiful. The old Mini Cooper, the old like 60s Mini, that is a wonderful car. The old Beetle, the one that was discontinued in 2003, again, beautiful car. By the way, I'm not going to be running ads today because I feel I've started so late, there's no point. If you're watching the VOD, there are ads though. It was 2-3 years ago, engine box interior and few parts were kept to go into another classic Mark, but the project is yet to hit the ground. Fair enough. My granddad had a C180 Mark. 98, I think it is. My aunt now owns it. I think it's a 98 C180, and that thing had so many problems throughout the time that he owned it. I'm not kidding here, something acidic ended up on the car at one point, and he had to get the entire car repainted. Because the paint that they put on, something went wrong and it turned orange. Beautiful red Merc. But something went wrong and the paint turned orange, so they had to repaint the entire car. I think it got sun bleach or something. And yeah, it just kind of had one problem after another. I think, was it yesterday or the day before, the radiator blew. So it now has a second-hand radiator in it. Your favourites are Rover, P5 Coupe. I'm not a big fan of Rover. MG, yes. Rover, no. Land Rover, hell no. The 2000 Land Rover Freelander. That was a car that everybody hated. Everybody who drove it hated it anyway. My dad had one. It literally made, I want to say like 70 miles on the tack. 70 miles on the tack. And it needed a new engine. Some dude bought his own combine last year, late 80s John Deere. I think it's not a bad idea for farmers to own their own combines, especially if they buy like second-hand from a contractor. I mean, yes, the combine's been through hell because it's been owned by a contractor, but at the same time, it's going to save that farmer money on contractors. But going back to my dad's Jeep, his first Jeep, because the company he works for, technically worked for the company, worked for the company because it changed its name. But the first Jeep he got was a 2000 Land Rover Freelander. Now, we thought, oh, good, Land Rover, they make reliable Jeeps, this is going to be a good thing. Yeah, he went up to Dublin to collect it. When he got it, it had 11 miles on the clock. He made it as far as Portlaoise. And that's about 50 miles at most. 40-50 miles, the engine blew. From brand new, the engine lasted 50 or 60 miles. That one was parked up for 7 to 8 years before he got his hands on it, needed a lot of work, but he done it. Yeah, that's... I think that's a good logical step for a farmer to do. In being quite blunt, I think it's logically smart for a farmer to have at least basic equipment to do their work themselves, just so they're not reliant on a contracting team. Like, I don't mind... This is gonna sound... I don't mind farmers, like, using contractors, and doing, you know, having contractors come in and do the work to aid them, but I'm the kind of person that thinks that if you're willing to let somebody else do the work, you should also be willing to have at least basic equipment to do the same work, even if it's a harvester from 1962 that has a 3-foot or 5-foot pickup or 5-foot header. You've got the equipment that can theoretically do your work. You can do the work, and you've got somebody who can drive it, probably you, but you've got that equipment available that you can do the work and cut down the amount of contractor you actually need. But that's just kind of my opinion on it. That's why I do a lot of the stuff on farms and manually. I'm kind of the opinion that if a farmer's willing to get a contractor in, he should be also willing to do the work himself. Especially like seeding and cultivating. I know there are a few farmers who just can't afford some of the stuff. That's fine. If you legitimately can't afford it, that's fine. Like the funky farmer, he gets contracting teams in to cut silage and seed maize. But that's just because he literally can't afford the equipment that he would need to do that. He owns his own frac spinner. He owns a mower and mower, so he can mow some of the stuff. S2 uses one old Deutz four-wheel drive, combine plow, disc harrow, and very little. Yeah, I mean, I think that's responsible farming. Because, hello Welsh, what if the contractor that you hire has a breakdown and the tractor they'd normally use for the plow is broken down? Completely out of operation. You've got a plow. You've probably got a tractor that can pull it. You can do it yourself. You might not be as fast or as good as a contractor, but you can do it. I kind of think it's irresponsible for farmers to say, "Oh well, I'll just get a contractor in to do all of my work for me." That's just irresponsible. The only person they has to hire is a dude to spray the crop. That's responsible farming. Mind you, a lot of the farmers around here seem to have their own sprayers. They're the funkiest looking things at times. And some of them, I'm not even sure if they're commercially available. Some of the sprayers that I've seen look like they were built for €50 in a garage. But that could just be the design. It could just be that they're old. But some of them look really kind of... Yeah, how does this guy have this hoopty thing? Where did this guy get this hoopty ass sprayer? So yeah. I'm really liking the stubble cultivator script. Also the fact that I remember this Caverneland is a disc cultivator, and that works better for the whole I'm just breaking down the stubble thing. Well, just here he's thinking, oh, when's Dave finishing? I'm finishing in like an hour. Because I started up super late today. Well, I slept really well. I was gonna say I didn't sleep well. I slept super well. Issue is I went to sleep at like 6 AM. So I'm kind of half thinking of cancelling Monday's stream so that I can just sleep all day. Because I do plan on watching Payback tomorrow night. There's some good storylines going into Payback, and sprayers on this, but that'll be for next year. Yeah, that's fair enough. I know the farmer near me, the guy, there's a farm down that way for me, down over there. A couple of fields at the end of the road. I went for a walk, I think it was last week, because I'm not exactly one for walking. Went for a walk, and on the way back I was passing by a couple of his fields there at the end of the road, and I think he's got spring or winter wheat seed. It might be winter barley. Might even be winter oat for all I know. He's got a winter crop seeded, and the growth is really good. He's got a nice field of kind of 6 to 8 inch shoots now. Two or three really nice fields of beautiful green crop. And as things stand, it's looking like there's going to be an early harvest this year for the winter crops, which I'm sure farmers are actually going to be delighted over, because they might, if they're really lucky, get a second harvest in this year. If he's really lucky. If they're really lucky, they might... I doubt it, but they might be able to squeeze kind of a whole crop harvest out at the end of it, and then seed up their winter crops for next year. But I don't know if that's going to even be possible. It depends on whether or not the growth continues a few weeks ahead of where it should be. Or goes even farther ahead of where it should be at this point in time. Because if they can get... I don't think any farmer in the right mind will go for whole crop though, as like a second crop of the year. I think they just want to leave the field fallow for a while and let the water actually get into the ground. Yeah, I'd imagine though all the crops for this year are now planted. All the 2016 crops are planted at this stage, and all of the dairy farmers at the very least are starting to gear up for and I know this is the case, the dairy farmers are starting to gear up for silage 2016. It's probably a week or two away yet, but it's going to be coming very, very soon. It's going to be starting. And I'm going to be quite happy because I do like watching the silage videos on YouTube. Of late I've been watching a lot of foraging videos. He doesn't technically forage, he just does metalwork, but Michael Cthulhu is really fun to watch. He made this insanely huge axe. He put up the video last night. That was stupid. It weighed, I think correct me if I think it was like 7 stone. His axe was 106 pounds. Which is somewhere in the region of, I think, 50 kilos. Yeah, somewhere in the region of 50 kilos, the axe that he made weighs. But he doesn't do things by half. He made a Buster Sword. So, anybody who's played Final Fantasy VII, that there are 2 actual life-sized, according to the game, full-size Buster Swords that exist. And They are insanely huge. They're like 7 foot long and weigh probably 40, 50, 60 kilos. But they do exist. An actual human being has created Buster Swords. Not as thick as the games one, in terms of like left to right as you're looking at the blade, but definitely, well, not as boxy, I should say. Really sharp, really big, just not as boxy, because otherwise it would have weighed the better part of a ton. Hey Ruby Gaming. Not a whole lot up today. Just kind of having a chillish day, doing some work on my Coldborough edit. Which, by the way, I'm kind of going back to editing maps for my own use, because I kind of think I don't have the experience with GE to get Duneske done to the scope that I'd like. So, in fact, yeah, that'd be a good idea. If you guys have a map that you would like edited, privately edited, you can send me a message on Facebook, Steam, Twitter, or YouTube. Tell me what map you'd like edited, and tell me what kind of feel or what you'd like done to it. And I will edit the map for you, just because I want a bit more practice doing GE before I go back to Duneske. And I kind of do enjoy editing maps. There is a fun aspect to it, especially even if something goes wrong. There's a fun aspect to it, because it's like, oh, now I get, this is gonna sound wrong, now I get the fun task. No sarcasm there at all. No, actually no sarcasm. Legit no sarcasm. The fun task of trying to figure out where I've gone wrong and what's caused this error to start happening within the last 20 minutes. Or, you know, what step did I do incorrectly? What mistake did I make? Because it's always something, it's almost always something you've done wrong or a mistake that you've made when it comes to an edit. So if you'd like a map edited, send me a message on YouTube with a link to the map and a short description of like what you'd like done or whatever, and I'll get back to you and kind of do some consultations, I guess. I should also say I won't be charging for this. This is going to be a free thing, because it's just for me to get a bit more experience in GE. So, you can get your very own personal edit done. It's especially useful if you don't know how to, if maybe your computer isn't powerful enough to run GE, or you're just not confident enough to do it yourself. You know, it's me giving back, I guess. Despite the fact that, you know, my entire thing is giving you entertainment. Yeah, I want to give back again, and yeah, if you want a map editor, send me a link to it. Even if it's on the least legit site in the world, I will download it, run a virus scan, because I don't trust people. Run a virus scan and then edit the map to whatever you'd like. Even if you want a script put in that I've never put in, that's actually fine, because that's more experience in putting scripts and stuff in. Even if it's something that I personally would never play. I'll test what I've edited and see if it all works. Usually the log file will tell me that. One thing I won't do is like change all of the roads in Brayborn Lees. I'm not going to do something that's like, oh yeah, change all the roads on this map. No, 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 no. What I mean by edit is, did I happen to download the Convertland pack? I knew... Faye, I didn't. I completely forgot. It looks pretty good though. Did you? Because that looked pretty good. And the site that it's on is... I'm going to say about 70% legit. It's just got... It's just got an issue with low quality mods. That's the issue that I have with a lot of sites, is not whether or not they're like all stolen, it's the mods that I have downloaded from site X, Y, and Z are usually of lower quality than I would like. Also, hello to the people who are suddenly coming in and boosting the viewership. Thank you to everybody watching. The stream is lagging all the time. You're going to Twitch? Okay. YouTube shouldn't have an issue. Looks decent. It does look decent. I might download it myself and test it out in my in an alternate save game. Because that does look rather good. According to all my analytics that I'm seeing, the stream is all good. There's no lag. And you're seeing some flickering on Firefox on the stream in Firefox, but that's a Firefox issue. It's an issue with the Firefox player for some reason. I may well get that Cavernalan pack myself, because it does look rather good. I'll probably set up a test game and see what happens if I try and break the mod, or break the pack, I guess. By the way, that's the best way to test something, is to try and break it. Do stuff that you know shouldn't be possible. Hey again, Ruby. I'm thinking it might have just been an issue on your end on YouTube, Ruby, because I'm watching the stream and the only issues I'm seeing are Firefox related. Just for some reason the HTML5 player on Firefox, I'm guessing it's HTML5, it doesn't work very well. And I'm seeing issues relating to that, but not relating to the stream itself. I got a ton of analytics all saying the stream is good. I'll just try this bit manually. No issues, but you wouldn't notice that there was. I'm getting flickering, but that's something I'm used to in Firefox. Like, I'm watching the YouTube stream and it's flickering like mad, but that's an issue with the Firefox and YouTube for whatever bizarre reason that happens. What's the best graphics card? Nvidia GeForce Titan X. I mean, there is absolutely no argument there. The Titan X is the best graphics card. Maybe not the best value for money though, because it is like $1,000 to buy. But that wasn't what you asked. You asked what the best is. Best graphics card is the Nvidia Titan X. If you've got a spare $1,000 hanging around. If not, the 980 or 980 Ti are just as good. I've heard rumours as well that Titan X is being phased out by Nvidia. So expect a new... Can I put in chat on Twitch? Sure. I'll just... yeah. X. There you go. There you go, Ruby. One of the very few times I use Twitch chat. Come to think of it, I never checked if Moobot's working. So, just bear with me a second. Hey, Moobot's working. And yes, for everybody on Twitch, enemy who might be watching on Twitch, that command is open to everybody if you're in the mood for some fun, although you can just use that emote yourself. It's just a fun test with Moobot. There we go. So, wow, my YouTube viewership has dipped. It's gone from like 8 down to 2. I should have played an ad when there was 8 people in. Nuts. Should have played an ad. Now, so yeah, tomorrow we're just going to be continuing on wherever we leave off today. I'm going to be quite honest. Monday, I might try and just sleep. Being blunt. Monday, I don't know if I'll stream. I'll definitely have a video ready for Monday. But I probably won't even... I won't stream Coldborough on Monday, I know that much. I won't stream this map on Monday. Welsh, what are you laughing at? Have you been at your wacky backy again? Or did you just not sleep last night? I mean this afternoon. Yeah, I'm because I plan on watching Payback tomorrow, I'm kind of tempted to just pull 24 hours and record Monday and Tuesday's videos at some point tomorrow. You've been yeah, I thought as much. Oh dear. I can't complain though because Welsh is in a legal state. So I can't complain about that. Because the usual complaint is, oh, that's illegal. That's not valid for Welsh. I mean, yes, it is still federally illegal over in America, but nobody really cares anymore. What am I playing on? I'm playing on PC. You can't get most of the stuff that I'm using on consoles. Mud dog. So if you got an Xbox One or something, I do apologize, but you will most likely never be able to use any of this stuff. And Welsh is high as the moon. Oh dear. That said, this stubble cultivator script is really nice. Especially the way that it like coats the field and shows the contours really nicely. I have to admit that is a really nice script even just for looks. It is really nice. So if you're going to be wondering what I'm playing on a custom built PC essentially. And the map is Coldborough Park Farm. I have done some minor edits to include soil mod and a few other things that I just like using. Some of the edits I made are just for my own sake. Some were just to add challenge to the map. Soil mod is literally just to add challenge. Seamasters to take some challenge away. Try and balance it around that. And I've got like literally about 200 mods loaded into the game. So most of the screen is currently filled with scripts and mods and different things. So unfortunately, if you got a console, you can't use 90% of this stuff. I think it is good the Giants have released a few mods for console. However, they do have to get the rights to release those mods from not only the mod author, but the actual company the mod is based on. So if like Giants were to release a John Deere mod, they would have to get a John Deere license, which is never going to happen. So unfortunately, those of you who do play Farm Sim on consoles, you will never get a John Deere. As much as you would like it. And I'm sure you would, because everybody who plays Farm Sim seems to have this weird hard-on for John Deere. Personally, I prefer Massey Ferguson and New Holland, so I mean, I'm quite happy. John Deere are never going to give Giants a license. That's just a fact. I'm really sorry if this is news to you, but John Deere don't like being involved with other manufacturers. They want their own stuff to just be John Deere this, John Deere that, John Deere the other thing. So Giants, because they do a kind of a variety game, are never going to get a John Deere license. Plus, John Deere like having the game devs in their own pocket, so it's just not going to happen. So if you're wondering what I'm doing right now in the game, I am cultivating the stubble from the wheat harvest under, and that is causing... So I'm actually using right now 3 scripts. So number 1 script is real terrain, which is causing the wheels to bump about. Number 2 script is stubble cultivator, which is allowing me to cultivate the stubble, and you can see the cultivated textures underneath. Number 3 script number 2 script is actually chopped straw, which is the texture you're seeing all over the field. Number 3 script is stubble cultivator, which is turning the stubble into chopped straw. Now you need both scripts for stubble cultivator to work with chopped straw. Chopped straw has to be installed on the map. And chopped straw, this is where it gets really complicated. Chopped straw interacts with soil mod, which is what you're seeing just above the speedometer and all that kind of stuff. And that changes the nutrient value in the field. Now another mod that I'm using is drive control, which allows me to have a shuttle control. I'm also using GPS to steer the tractor. And what else am I using right this second? I'm using glimpse, but that's not really for anything. That's barely visible. Over on the... over here, I've got so many questions about what this is. This up here is the multi-overlay HUD. It's currently largely inactive. I've got it set to animals, which I don't have any, so nothing's coming up. And that kind of covers what's on screen, I think. I'm driving a Massey Ferguson 7718. This is Bullet Bill's Massey Ferguson edit pack, which he got permission to release. I should add, he had permission to release this, so this is not a private edit tractor. The cultivator I'm using is from Gold Edition. It is the Cavernaland, whatever the Cavernaland cultivator in Gold Edition is, because I've forgotten. I do have the default Lemken cultivator hidden over on the farm as well. This is a disc cultivator. It is more likely to be used for this kind of purposes, for breaking up the stubble and just getting that spread out a bit, than it would be for actually cultivating the field. It's more used for just breaking up the sod and light cultivation, just to get stuff down into the top layer of soil so that it can rot and give its nutrients to the soil. And I'll be doing some deeper cultivation later on with the Lemken cultivator. Is it? I think it's Lemken. I want to say it's Lemken. The seeder I'm using on the farm is the Kuhn Citier 3000, which I have edited slightly to work with the seed mod that I'm using. The seed mod. I've given it the seeds to fill type and allowed it to fill from air, so I can fill it with a seed overloader trailer that I have. That's an edit of the Brantner. And you can see where the mods start piling up quite heavily. It's very easy to go overboard with mods, and I have in the past. I used to use the Fire Silo mod. I think that it's called in English the silage extension. It's Fire Silo extension in German. That is a bit overkill, because you end up having to put small amounts of chaff into the silo and then compact it down, then put another small amount in, compact it down, and get all the local compaction to 100%, and then get the silo compaction to 100%. It's a pain. It's a real pain to get working right. It's very time consuming as well, so I've got rid of that. One thing I might bring back is the BGA extension mod, because that I think does add something. I'm just gonna go down this line, screw it. BGA extension I think does add something to the game, because you can get more realistic BGA action going on, where it's not constantly running and can run on empty. You need to get it filled up with the right reagents first. So, yeah. And if you're wondering why I'm mental in using 3-meter equipment, it's because this is what would really be used on a farm this size, is smallish equipment. Because I'm only using the fields that the player owns for realism's sake. So it's taking an age to do anything because the equipment is quite small. Hey Ford, did you download that bucket last night after the stream or during the stream? Because I haven't tried that bucket at all, the Mammoth. I use different buckets that I've edited myself. I haven't tested them actually, so I probably should do that. Also, I can just edit multi-fruit if I really need to. You got the bucket. Does it work with seeds? Or have you tried that? By the way, if you're looking for a mod, just literally on Mod Hoster, search for the kind of mod you want. Because when I found that Mammoth bucket the other day, it was literally, I searched seed bucket or seed shovel. That's my Google foo. Enter like 2-word description of what you want. Add no seeds in storage. You'll check it and let you know. I don't really need to know. I'm just interested. It's not like vital importance that I know whether or not I can handle seeds because I'm not using that mod. I'm using the Stoll multi-fruit shovel. Just because I can edit that. Like I don't need to download a mod that can deal with seeds because I can just obviously the seed front loader or the seed trailer, yes, that I did need to edit, or that I did need to download because I needed an overload that could specifically deal with seeds. Speaking of which, you gotta go again. Well, I hope you enjoyed the 3 minutes of the stream you were here for, Ford. So, if you're interested in finding out what the video is tonight, I'm gonna give a brief description and you can kind of expect what you can kind of guess for yourself what's gonna happen. So the video tonight, which I need to actually finish getting ready, it's uploaded and everything, I just need to put a description and whatnot on. I decided after Project Hell yesterday that the Nürburgring was cool, but I wanted to drive on a smaller track. So I decided to do a mixed class race. So far so good. Yeah, it's legit so far. 36 cars, again, legit. I was driving the Formula Renault, which I really like. That is one of my favourite cars in the game. And I decided for a track. So it was gonna, mixed class Formula cars, which the Formula Fords are hilariously slow. The Lotus Formula Fords, I should say. So I decided that a good circuit to do this mixed class Formula race with a really big gap between performances. Decided a good track for it would be Monte Carlo. Or as it's called in Project Cars, the Azure Coast. So yeah, I brought 36 various Formula cars to the Monaco Grand Prix circuit, or Slightly Mad Studios' interpretation of it. And yeah, I did however find a hilarious bug where if the AI went into the runoff area by the Nouvelle Chicane, which is as you're coming out of the tunnel, the chicane down at the end of that is the Nouvelle Chicane. It's a relatively new chicane, which is why it's called Nouvelle, which is French for new. I'm not even kidding, that's the actual logic behind it. It's called the new chicane because it is a newish chicane. It's the newest chicane on the track. There's a runoff area down there because it is a very fast part of the track going into a very slow part of the track very suddenly. So there's a runoff that used to be the circuit, used to be part of the track. And if the AI went down there, it never came back out. So because the AI likes ramming itself and ramming each other and ramming everything, there ended with a situation where I didn't count, but it looked like there were 5 or 6 cars all trapped in this runoff area, just going forwards and backwards, desperately trying to get out, and I was laughing. I was like passing it and looking down every lap. It was like, oh, there's more cars in there now. It's claimed more victims. They're doomed. However, the video that's going up tonight, I did not commentate live. I actually commentated over a replay of it, because I think the camera angles around Monaco and replays are really nice. And they are. I didn't screw the camera angles at all. I could have. So if I ever do a Monaco race again, I'll use a different camera. So you get slightly different views everywhere. So yeah, that's the race tonight. Is, as I've called it, the Project Car Formula Car Crashtacular. Because that, oh my god, that was so funny. Commentating it was a lot of fun as well. Doing commentary on that was a lot of fun. Because while normally I'm talking very seriously and very rarely because I'm trying to concentrate at the same time, that was me commentating over something that's already happened and I kind of knew what was going on, so I got to have a bit more fun with it. And I think I might do the races like that from now on, where I race and then I commentate over it, over the replay. Because I can have my serious moments and then, like most of it, especially with that race, a serious tone didn't fit, so I got to have a bit of fun. I mean, I'm obviously a very serious person. Like, that's just the tone that I normally take as, oh yeah, serious. But, I mean, if I start joking, I start joking. Joking, not choking, by the way. With a J, not a ch. So, we got about half an hour left of the stream. I think we might just get this field done. Yikes. I am slightly concerned as well about the fuel level of this Massey. I know we got 74 litres left, but last time I checked it was 89, so we used 15 litres in about 10 minutes. That's mildly concerning, to be quite honest. So let's disable that. Nice tight turn going. There we go. So yeah, just kind of cruising along, doing a lot of cultivating. If you're wondering why I'm doing it in camera, it's kind of a rule that I got for myself, or in cab, I should say. It's a rule that I have for myself on this map, that all the work is being done in cab. Yes, I will admit that the use of GPS mod is kind of a crutch to counter that, but if it means the work done is neat, I don't mind. Because I could do this all manually, it's just that it would look a mess if I did. So yeah, if you're wondering what kind of wheel I'm using, by the way, because it's quite obvious that I'm using a wheel, I'm playing with the G27 and I do have a joystick down on the floor beside me that I'm not using today, but I do use for front loader work. It costs about the same as a Cytec wheel, and I think it performs better. That's the flat out reason that I use that. I've just realised that it's... Yes, the colour today was a bit off because I had the camera in the wrong place. Well done me. So yeah, just trying to, I can't think of anything to talk about, so people in chat, give me topics for the next half hour. Talk to me. Especially if it's Welsh, because I'm interested in seeing what weird and wonderful topics he comes up with. So, we've kind of talked about a bit of everything today, I think. We talked about cars, motor racing, why I don't think banger racing is motor racing, go-karting and how fun that is, project cars, been a lot of car talk, and then in terms of farming, I've kind of given my thoughts on why farmers should own equipment capable of doing most things on the farm, maybe not everything, but definitely most things. Like, I think a harvester is a definite thing that a farmer should own. Even if it's a really, really old, really, really small one, I think a farmer should own a harvester. Just so they're not wholly reliant on contractors. I definitely think if a farmer's doing silage, they should own a mower. That is like the bare minimum, is a mower. And if it's a guy who just does arable, he should realistically own a plough, a cultivator, at least one cultivator, and a seeder, as well as the obvious fert spinner and sprayer. Now, Faye did mention that the guy near him owns pretty much everything but a sprayer, and that's going to be something he buys next year. That's perfectly fine. If you own most things but you're missing out one thing, I have literally no issues with that. But it's people, it's like, no, I know for a fact that there are people, the farmers, who, like, all of their work is done by contractors and they just get the money at the end of the day. It's like, so you're a farmer, but you don't actually work as a farmer, you let everybody else do your work for you and then claim it all as your own. Huh. It's like those Facebook freebooters who, like, download a video off YouTube, put a big black bar top and bottom and put a little comment on the top and bottom, and they're like, well, it's transformative because it's fair use because I put bars on it and there is a comment in the bars. No, that's not fair use. That's trying to cover up your blatant copyright. That's trying to cover up blatant theft. It's not even copyright infringement, it's theft. It is copyright infringement, but it is like copyright infringement followed by the then fraud of claiming that it's fair use. I actually want to talk about something that I can't remember if it was yesterday or earlier on the week, but I was watching Jim Sterling, who I really enjoy. Really enjoys Jim Sterling and his work. I don't watch all of his videos, but I usually watch the Jimquisition. But he did a Jimquisition on... How do I put this the right way? I gotta say, how to, if you're doing something like the Jimquisition, which is non-profit, it is funded wholly by Patreon, he doesn't run ads. What he does if he doesn't want ads, and he's done some experimenting with this, if he doesn't want ads on a video, and he knows that Nintendo or Sony or somebody is going to put in a copyright claim because he's used some of their game, a gameplay trailer, and they don't take kindly to that because Content ID is the biggest waste of time in the history of the internet. Seriously. What he does now is kind of shows off the weakness of Content ID in the entire YouTube system, because for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't make videos, this is how Content ID works. I do my streams and I make my videos, and YouTube automatically scans them, and that's fine. And if there's copyrighted material detected, it sends me a little notification saying, hey, we found this in your video, this is what's going to happen. And the person who owns the copyright can say, okay, we're going to track it, which means I can still get ads and whatnot, but it's going to be tracked. They can say, nope, no monetizing this video anymore. Even if it's like 6 seconds in a 3-hour video, which has happened, just can say, nope, no monetizing this, or yeah, we're taking all the money this video brings in forever, because hey, why not? And what Jim Sterling is doing now is, because he knows, let's say, a piece of content A is going to get Content ID'd, he intentionally, and this is showing the failing of Content ID. He intentionally and knowingly puts in a second piece of copyright infringing work. Now, the first one is something that he is using in fair use and for fair use that is completely within copyright law. And Content ID picks up on it because Content ID is stupid. The second one he puts in to get it into what he calls copyright deadlock is intentional copyright infringement to emphasize the fair use and stop a company from cashing in on him using their footage or whatever in a fair use manner. So YouTube, with all of their geniuses, have made a system where to prevent a company from cashing in on your work, you have to intentionally infringe upon the copyrights of a second company. Because that, if there's two companies claiming it, it cannot be, it can't be owned by two companies, Two companies can't own one video. So what happens then is monetization is disabled regardless, and Jim gets what he wants because he doesn't want Jimquisition to have ads. So now he's, and the funniest thing was that video. I'm gonna link it on Twitter after the stream. I'm actually gonna put it onto the YouTube page as well, which I don't have linked anywhere quite yet. YouTube or Facebook.com/RainbowDave Gaming will bring you to the official, but as in made by me, not like some third-party thing that's claiming it's official. Facebook.com/RainbowDave Gaming brings you to the page for the channel. It is, I'll put it down as like an entertainment personality. I didn't quite know what to put, like YouTube channel. So kind of RainbowDave Gaming is down as being me, but I'm an entertainment personality, I guess. And I will periodically be posting things on that page, and you can message the page, and I'll be managing the page myself. So yeah, that's going to be the Facebook community for the channel. Twitter is just going to be kind of a chill out and hear my random ramblings on occasional things. So yeah, that's everything in terms of social media for the channel. At the moment, I do have a Google Plus. Yes, I'm still streaming Welsh. I started super late. So I'm finishing super late. So yeah, facebook.com/RainbowDave Gaming, twitter.com/Rainbow_Dave, because somebody else took RainbowDave already and they are active on Twitter, so I can't say to Twitter, hey, can I have this because it's been on you since 2009. I can't do that, so I've had to take Rainbow_Dave on Twitter. What else? There is a Google Plus page, but I don't use it personally. It's just like random stuff goes up there, I think. Whatever Google decides goes up there, goes up there. And I do have Steam as well. Find RainbowDave on Steam, you'll recognize it. It's got my old logo because I forgot to fix it last night. That's something I intend on doing tonight, is changing the logo on Steam. I might make a Steam community as well, just so I can maybe put up channel updates and stuff on Steam. Because I know a lot of you guys who do follow me a lot have Steam, and it's probably easiest to have some sort of community going on Steam as well, that I can hop into the main Steam chat and we can have a chill chat night or whatever. Because it's a lot easier than Discord, because with Discord I have to be able to talk, and most nights I'm not able to talk. And I've got major chafing going on right now, which is why I'm suddenly set back like this. Yeah, some things after getting caught, and it's not very comfortable. I'm hoping it freezes itself very quickly. No, I'm gonna have to stand up in a second. So yeah. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna end the stream very soon. As in, like now. Because I'm getting a bit tired. And unfortunately, and this is no slight on anybody, chat just isn't as active as I'd like it to be today. Primarily because I started late. So I'm gonna end the stream now. I'm gonna save the game and prove that I've saved the game. I'm gonna end the stream by saying thank you all very much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at the correct time. Until then, stay safe and goodbye, because I really need to fix myself. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll start getting the video ready for tonight, and I'll put it live as soon as it's ready. So yeah, bye bye.